What's going on, guys? Jay here. I am sitting in my S2000 that I just bought, and I'm just gonna be like just like a little introductory video to my I'm beginning a playlist on it, because like a little YouTube playlist just to talk about different things done to it, different things I have to do to it to get it running again, because some stuff was stolen out of it. From my friend had it before me, and he I don't know where he had it parked, but it was broken into twice, and unfortunately for him, but kind of fortunately for me, I guess, stuff was stolen out of it. Kind of expensive stuff, so I'm going to talk about that and things that were stolen out of it. So hopefully, if you're in Hawaii and you're in because I'm in Hawaii, if you're in the S2000 scene, S2000 community, and you're buying stuff off Craigslist or however else you can buy things on the internet, friends, maybe, I don't know, not that I'm really like out for vengeance or anything, but it would be cool if the person that stole this stuff actually got caught, if there was some way to really prove it, I guess. But anyway, so the things that were stolen out of it really quick are so it had a Honda hardtop, and that was stolen out of it. It has a soft top on it now. My friend replaced the soft top. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it was just old from being 13 years old. It's possible. I think I replaced the top on my car when it was 15 years old, I guess. So, oh, that's my other car, by the way. GT4 swapped Celica. I'll kind of refer to that a little bit throughout the video. But awesome little car. I've actually got a playlist on that too, on a bunch of things that I've done to it, building it up, and built the engine up from scratch. But I'm not talking about that car. So the why steal things, man? It's kind of frustrating. I mean, I don't know. So it had the hardtop. I'm assuming that because the car used to be red and it was painted black, I'm assuming that the hardtop used to be red and it was painted black as well. So if you're in the Hawaii S2000 scene and you buy a hardtop that used to be red and it's painted black, it's a good chance it probably came from this car and it was stolen. This car also had an AEM EMS that was stolen out of it. The AEM EMS, which they're kind of awful anyway. Not that it's good that it was stolen, it's bad that it was stolen, but the joke's on the guy that stole it, because the AEM standalones they're awful. You can't get a reliable wideband signal, and if you know anything about tuning, you need a good, accurate wideband signal to tune the car. It's not just like a display gauge so you can see. You need, like, the ECU needs to know what the EMS needs to know the wideband signal, because you need it for data logging. You need it, like, for data logging, so you can go back and look at, and make little corrections to the air-fuel ratio, and then you can go and put an accurate tune on the car, get accurate dyno results. What else? They're also known to have bad sensor grounds, and I don't know. They're just, it's popular marketing, and poor equipment. So don't buy them. Don't buy anything of theirs. It's just awful. With that said, I'm probably going to leave the map sensor in. I'm going to see how this map sensor does. I'm going to look up and try to find some good answers on whether it's a good map sensor to keep. It's 50 psi one, 3.5 bar. I mean, you might as well, at least try to see how well it does. I'm going to be running a Haltech in it, so I'm replacing where the AEM was with the plug-and-play Haltech unit. Haltech's way better, closed loop boost control, better sensor ground than AEM. It doesn't have as much data logging capability, but it's still more than enough. You only really need like 10-15 minutes at a time to go through and look at some logs, so that you can adjust air-fuel ratio, or adjust air-fuel ratio, and how much fuel is going into the engine. Closed loop boost control, look that up. I mean, that's awesome. That's got a lot of nice features anyway. You get a quicker response from the turbo. But let's see. So AEM EMS was stolen out of it. Like I said, don't buy them. They're awful. They really are. But let's see. So things that were done to the car. It has aftermarket hood, so carbon fiber hood, vented. I like that hood. I really do. I don't know how much it cost, but I like it. I don't know why the windshield washer squirters aren't there. I don't know. I was looking at that, trying to figure that out. There's nothing that shows that they were ever connected that I can find. All the hose is gone. I don't know. It has AP2 taillights. I'm going to walk around that really quick and talk about that. But in order to put those in, you actually have to cut holes in the trunk so that the AP2 taillights, the newer model S2000 taillights, fit into that slot. What this guy did when he did it, he didn't put an extra little bracket in that helps kind of support the taillight. It's not like they'll fall out. I mean, they're in, but I would want to make it a little bit harder for somebody to steal it. It's considering they're pretty sought after. People like them. But I'm gonna get out of the car. It's getting hot. But what's cool is the radio's still there. Stuff was stolen. The radio's still there. Yeah, I don't know. And it had a pillar, a gauge pillar pod. What do you call them? Gauge pod. Pillar mount that was there before that was stolen too. And I'm guessing it had an Apexi boost gauge because there's a boost sending unit under the hood. But get out now. It's getting hot. Who puts black vinyl in a convertible? My car's like that too. Seriously, man. That's awful. Alright. So, from the front back, front mount intercooler, Mishimoto radiator, and then he's got like a little oil cooler down here. Either that or he relocated his oil filter. I haven't really gotten under the car to see, to look at it, but aftermarket oil pump. I have the receipt for that. This is just I think it's just a cheap brand air filter. It doesn't say K&N on the front, like K&N usually has it etched in. I've got one like this on my car, same little design with the filter on the inside and the filter on the outside. Better flow. Garrett 3076 turbo, more specifically GTX 3076R turbo, teal wastegate, and the boost control valve is Apexi. As you can see, it got a little bit too close to the exhaust, so that's kind of unfortunate. HKS blow-off valve, I've actually got the same one on my car too. And so that is it for external mods, except for the 570cc injectors made by Ultimate Racing. Well, not made by Ultimate. Ultimate Racing put their name on it. They're actually made by Siemens. So it has those, and then that's the 50 psi map sensor I was talking about. Inside the engine is so sleeved block, forged pistons and rods. I don't know if it's a stroker, if they converted it to be a stroker. That's one of the last things I'm trying to figure out, but I'll find out when I hear it run. You can tell if it's a stroker when you listen to it. Head gasket's been replaced, and I don't really like that they used the silicone gasket stuff around the edge, but whatever. So the camshafts are stock from what I can tell. They haven't been changed out. The head though, I'm not sure if this is why the block was re-sleeved, but I know the AP1 S2000 engine, the 2.0 liter, it's known to have problems with the valve retainers holding the valves. So the valve retainers break, the valve drops into the engine. So because of that, guys will go in ahead of time. It gives them a good reason to go in ahead of time and do like a they'll change out the valve train for the AP2 valves and retainers. So that's been changed out along with the guides in this engine. The let's see, they're getting hot. It also has a 5-angle valve job. On the receipt it says 7-angle valve job, which as far as I know that doesn't exist. I called the shop about that and asked them, and they were like, oh yeah, no, that's a typo, it's supposed to be 5-angle. So even though 7-angle is on the receipt, I confirmed it with the shop and they were like, no, we can't do that. we did the 5-angle valve job, so it's pretty cool. It's got a lot of stuff done to it. What I don't know is, I know the pistons were changed out, but I don't know what the new compression ratio is. Still trying to figure that out. I don't have a receipt for that. Let's see, but I know the engine bay used to be red, because it's been repainted. It's been repainted black on the inside. So black valve cover. These usually have red valve covers. Teal wastegate. I think I've talked about pretty much everything. If I miss anything, I'll leave a little comment, you know, talking about it. But this thing should easily put out close to 400 horsepower, just considering the stuff that's done to it, if it's got a good tune. So I will have to replace this. It looks like it'll still work, but it's been melted. There's no way I could take it apart without destroying it. So that's just poor mounting. And also the battery tray, I'm probably gonna have to make one out of metal or something. It's too close to the exhaust there. But walking around to the back of the car, it doesn't sit flush either. I've got to adjust the little rubber mounts down so that it sits flush again. And there's little tabs that hold that, so I'm gonna have to adjust those. Nice little spoiler. There's a little red, little bit of red paint here. Let's see if I can get that off later, but it looks like it's actually on the carbon fiber, like the red paint. So maybe I can kind of chip that off. I'm not sure, but it's the AP2 tail lights along with the leftover wax from when I was waxing it the other day. AP2 tail lights, Koki tail lights, JDM style. They're nice. I like those, and it still has the stock rims. But I think I have to replace one of the lug nuts. It's got these red ones, and one's missing. I'm hoping that's not because it was stripped out and they couldn't put it back, but what else though? Yeah, so this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a fun little car to work with. If you saw the brake fluid bottles under the hood, the clutch fluid's leaking a little bit, and this clutch actually feels stiffer than normal, which makes me think that the clutch has been changed out also. Of course, the car only has 50,000 miles. So the car only has low miles, but if you're putting out a lot of power, or if you want to change out a clutch, the clutch has probably been changed out. I knew a friend of mine's Evo had 30-something thousand miles when he burned up his clutch, but he was putting about 400 horsepower to the wheels. Sorry, I was just thinking of trying to tell him when he called, because I worked on his car. So he called me, hey, and he was describing the issue of like what happens whenever your clutch is going out, which is you're giving it gas and you're trying to go, but you can't do anything. So I told him, like, okay, drive it carefully, don't over rev it, don't try to like really push the engine, because it had a lot of power. I know I've said that, but I'm being redundant. I'm gonna go through this whole story again, just to entertain the being redundant thing, but I'm joking, I'm not. So he calls me and he was like, man, I'm really stuck now. The car's not going anywhere. There's smoke pouring out from all under the hood. Like, as soon as he told me that, I knew what it was, that he had completely burned up the clutch. So we had to go and tow him. Me and my friend, we grabbed his truck and we just like pretty much dragged him down the freeway with a tow rope, while he sat back there and watched movies and whatever in his car. But anyway, I sidetracked, but I think the clutch has been changed out. That's not why the clutch fluid was leaking. I guess it could be, but if you have to, I haven't looked at this slave cylinder. I hope it's not one of the ones that's inside the transmission. I hope it sits on the outside, because I don't want it to change out the slave cylinder if it sits inside the transmission. That requires dropping the trans, because it sits around the spline. It's actually attached to the fork The Lancers are like that. So, or at least the non-Evo Lancers are like that. I know. I don't know about the. I didn't. Did I do his clutch? Oh, I did. I changed out his clutch. I don't remember if the Evos have the slave cylinder inside the transmission. Anyway, so I'm just kind of like waiting on my. All I did was pour fluid in the clutch, in the reservoir, and then it just it works. I gotta bleed it a little bit. It does feel a little low, but that's what I did like this. Just my Celica's like that too. Just pour fluid in and let it sit for a bit, and you gotta help somebody bleed it, but it's simple. I like it when cars are simple, but that's it with this. That's it with this car. That's all I'm really gonna talk about. It's gonna be a fun project, and yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching. I doubt anybody's made it through, especially after me telling that awful story. Not that great at storytelling, but yeah. Thanks for watching all the way through this. If you have, like, subscribe, comment. Positive comments are the only ones that are allowed. I wish I could do that. I wish you could like automatically remove negative comments from YouTube videos. But yeah, check out my other car. It was fun to build too. It's pretty quick, and yeah, it's not a full GT4. It's front-wheel drive with a turbocharged engine from the GT4s. The engine's fully built, everything like to the teeth, except cams. I didn't do cams, but thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Positive comments only. They're the only ones that are welcome. Of course, once I say that, people are gonna be like, I'm gonna leave a negative comment just because